Good evening, Rabbi. There are other situations that are required in halacha that a person washes hands, but without a bracha. For example, the Gemara Masechet Sanhedrin, Samech Vav, tells us a person goes into a cemetery. The person is next to the grave. A person should know that he gets ruach tumah. He gets an impure spirit on him, and he has to remove it by washing the hands at Yadayim after he leaves. The Gemara says that people who want to go and be Doresh Lamitim, to become a sorcerer, that they needed impure spirit, they would go and sleep in the cemetery, and that way they would get ruach tumah to go and do the black magic that they wanted to do. Nonetheless, from here, Shulchan Aruch also writes that Siman Daled, you have to wash your hands. The minhag, however, is when you're visiting someone, you should go and wash your hands but not dry them. The minhag is that the way the water takes a longer time to dry, that way the memory of the person also should stay with us longer and not be so quick to go away. Now, in another case, the Gemara Masechet Sukkah, Daf Mem Vav, says that a person who goes to the bathroom, even if he didn't use the bathroom, he went into the bathroom, that's a place where there's also impure spirit, due to the fact that we go to the bathroom there, that also gives a person ruach tumah, and therefore he has to wash his hands when he leaves that place, without a bracha, but nonetheless, he still has to wash his hands. Or you have also the Gemara Masechet Pesachim, Kuf Yubet, that says that a person who cuts his nails and does not wash his hands afterward in Yadayim, he'll be scared for one day and he won't know why. He won't know why. He'll have a certain ruach tumah that'll make him anxious, make him nervous, chas v'shalom. There'll be like an evil spirit that causes him to have bad thoughts, chas v'shalom. So therefore a person has to go and wash his hands also in that situation. Or a haircut, also Shulchan Aruch writes, or a person who touches his shoes, or the abuah, which also according to the Shulchan Aruch is a person who touches covered places which are dirty, either be it because of hygiene, either be it because of ruach ra'ah, impure spirit. There are many situations that a person has to wash his hands, and he has to pay attention to this. A person gets a haircut right away, he has to wash his hands at the other time also without a bracha. And a person has to make sure to do all these Netillat Yadayim, all these cases, so he shouldn't get spiritually and physically damaged. There was a nice mashal that the Magid Miduvna said, the importance of saying a story. He always said, I asked him, why do you always say everything as a story? So he has a mashal, and he said, I'll give you a mashal. He says there was a parable of a person who came to go to the forest to shoot arrows. And he sees that there's a boy who's shooting arrows, and every tree he has a bullseye, he got it in the bullseye, he got it in the middle. So he said, wow, this little boy is an expert, how at such a young age, he's such an expert. He goes to the young boy, he says, listen, how did you get every single arrow on the bullseye in the middle? He said, listen, I'll tell you a secret. I shoot the arrow first, and then I draw the target afterwards. So he says that a person has to know that in life, a lot of times when you want to shoot an arrow at somebody, and you draw the bullseye first, and you shoot the arrow, it's very hard. Well, if you shoot the arrow first and then draw the target around it, it'll be easier. Same thing when when you want to give him a message to somebody, if you give them the story, that's the arrow. And if you draw the lesson afterwards, you say after the parable, you say the message, and you draw the target afterwards, that way you always hit the middle. So then where a person has to know, it's very important to know a lot of good stories to say in Shabbat table, that way you'll get to everybody's heart. But because if you just give musar, a lot of times you'll miss the mark. Baruch